I'd say that improvisation is on the beginning of every, I'd say, music making process, or at least for me, or the way I like to think about music and sounds. I don't think improvisation is something to be seen as disconnected from the written music process, or there is this notion of improvisation as something like without thinking, or without thoughts, or without thinking, but I don't truly agree with that. I'd say that even if you try to disconnect yourself from thinking on the moment, or to this process of instant composition, you are using thinking process that you already developed. It's like if you have some rules that you cannot ever break them, they're not really good rules, because you need to always be thinking of what's best, and there are no absolute truths, or no universal truths. Well, I had this non-interesting music background. I started studying music at like 13 years old, I guess, in this classic school, and I chose double bass just because it was the most exotic and well, not really the most exotic, but the uneasiest instrument, in the way that you need to carry this huge thing around, and I found that funny. And during my teenage years, I started to listening to more jazz stuff, and then I've gone deeper into and I found out like Farwa Sanders and all of these free jazz connected to that, and I got really into that. I've been to Hot Club, but at the time I was already listening to a lot of free jazz, and I found out Hot Club was a little bit square in this. Well, they are the most amazing musicians, but I was looking to something else. I guess I connect art in general with activism in some sort of way, and or not a strict sense of activism, but this activism as you should live your life the way you want, and finding these really amazing musicians just eating a lot and drinking wine and having really interesting conversations mixed up with some jokes, and sort of that it had a huge impact on me. Zaratan is almost 2 years old. Well, two friends started it as a gallery, an artist-run space, and I was already invited to play here several times when Chaves and Gemma asked me to curate a cycle of concerts, and they asked me to make something that allied both music and some other kind of art. And at that time I was with an ensemble interpreting Cornelius Cardio's treatise, and I was really obsessed with this idea of graphic scores and these frontiers between written and improvised music, and I wanted to contribute to that. I'm not sure if it's a discussion or at least some thought about it. And so I started organizing Leitmotiv, which is a cycle of concerts where we invite someone from the music world to write a text with musical ideas, then an artist to make some kind of work inspired in the text, and then musicians to play in Zaratan. As a curator, I mostly like to put people out of their comfort zones, and well, in this cycle, the idea is making everyone uncomfortable in a way to try to understand the process of interpretation and improvisation, blah blah blah. As a musician, I think that the reason for people to play together, it's very similar with like falling in love. It's this enchantment with another person, or with their ideas, their movements on stage, what they transmit. The improvised music scene in Portugal, it's mostly men, mostly middle class, or mostly straight people, mostly white people, and it's very elitist in the public, and I'll say that the future it needs to reinvent themselves, the formats, the impact, the way to reach people, in the way to gather people. I think it cannot stay crystallized, or otherwise it will be dead. I think it will need to reinvent really arts.